what I've seen over the last 2 weeks of this entire Charlie Kirk thing, and Candace Owens has been doing it. It's been an entire conspiracy, it seems like, online. Who shot Charlie Kirk? Was it a second gunman? Was he shot from behind? Was he shot from the side? It wasn't the guy they arrested. And I just wonder sometimes, do people not just like look at the actual court documents of things going on? Because there is a public document. There's an actual document out on this guy, Tyler Robinson, from the state of Utah and the Utah Attorney's Office, going over why they charged him, all the things leading up to it that I don't see anyone really talking about. I certainly don't see Candace Owens talking about it because everybody just wants to scream, the Jews did it, the Jews did it. And I don't know that that's the case. I think it's a pretty standard, straightforward thing where this guy, Tyler Robinson, clearly a nut job, went and shot Charlie Kirk, and then his own family turned him in. That's the other part that people are like absconding. His own family turned him in. That's crazy. Like, why are we doing this whole convoluted, oh, who's this guy that took the cartridge out of the camera? Who took the SD card? Oh, what's this little trap door? Oh, who's this guy? And he twitched a little bit, so it must be him that was the shooter. Can't we just say what is clearly in front of our eyes? All right, let's read this, man. The suspected shooting position is adjacent to an open, publicly accessible walkway. To access the suspected location, a person must climb over a railing, then drop to the roof only slightly below. The officer, I think that's the Utah Valley or whatever, officer climbed over the railing and down onto the roof. He then walked to the suspected shooting position and confirmed a clear shooting corridor between the position and Mr. Kirk's seat. He also noticed markings in the gravel of the rooftop consistent with a sniper having lain on the roof. Impressions in the gravel potentially left by elbows, knees, and feet of a person in prone shooting position. Police reviewed the surveillance camera, or from the camera covering the roof, and discovered that it recorded an individual dressed in dark clothes cross the railing from the public walkway and drop onto the roof at approximately 12:15 p.m. Although the individual moved out of the camera's view for a short time, camera again captured individual running across the roof and then low crawling to the area the officer recognized as a suspected sniper had dropped into the prone position. So again, they're going step by step over how he even got into position. Like, in detail, they're describing the location, where he shot from, where it was aimed, the clothes he was wearing on surveillance, how he got there, how he left. So I don't even understand, like, how we're not taking a look at this stuff. We keep going. Law enforcement officers followed the suspect's escape path to the northeast end of campus, where they believe the suspect left campus and entered a wooded area. In that wooded area, investigators found a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel. The rifle contained 1 spent round and 3 unspent rounds. This is consistent with the facts officers observed at the time of and immediately following the shooting. No shell casings were found on the roof, suggesting a bolt action rather than auto-loading weapon, and only a single round was fired. Each round in the rifle contained an etched inscription as follows. Notices bulge. Oh, what's this? I'm not laughing. What the fuck is that? This is what I'm talking about with this generation of online degenerate fucking morons, dude. What is that supposed to mean? It's some furry shit, Wade. So weird. Oh, whoa. What's this? Notices bulge? Guy was chronically online. This is the problem. Online backdoor fucking politics communities that merge with online weirdos create this even further dungeon-dwelling fucking generation of kids that participate in this weirdo shit. The furry shit is already weird as fuck. Then we got the trans boyfriend, another red flag. Then we got this shit. Notices bulge. Oh, whoa, what's this? Second cartridge, hey fascist, catch. Arrow symbols. What is this? Oh, Bella. Is this, how do you say this word? Ciao? If you read this, you are gay, Lamau. I can't even believe that this is what someone that shot someone wrote on a cartridge. It's an Italian song. And you, by the way, you know this motherfucker thinks he's one of the smartest people ever. This is the same with the Luigi Mangione guy. They both think they're just the smartest motherfuckers ever, dude. This is what this online, again, this chronically online, well, actually type of shit develops you into. Like, watch what I write on this one. Dumbass, dude. So anyway, the rifle, ammunition rounds, and towel were sent for forensic processing. DNA consistent with Robinson's was found on the trigger and other parts of the rifle cartridge casing, 2 of the 3 unfired cartridges, and the towel. Again, I ask you guys, it's an anti-fascist folk song. And by the way, we're going to talk about Antifa in a second. What a bunch of morons they are as well. The fucking people committing the dumbass fascist actual stuff, calling themselves anti-fascist. Anyway, what else does everybody need when we're talking about, like, concrete evidence? Concrete evidence, this guy did it. No Mossad, No Jewish state, no fucking conspiracy where a shot was fired from underground, went up in the air, flipped around, and came through his neck. None of that, dude. And I'm not even trying to be insensitive. I'm just like, the stuff I'm hearing. And you got Candace Owens, by the way. I don't even know how she has an audience after saying some of the stuff she's saying. This girl is every day on stream talking about, I've got evidence for the fact that Charlie was about to flip on the Jews. Or something. And then she never produces it. It comes out that it's completely the opposite of what she said. And then she's like, well, I never said it. And then she's got more and more evidence that never comes out. And I'm sitting there watching the shit. When I'm not on stream, I'm sitting there watching the shit. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm locked in. What are we saying? I want to figure this shit out because you're saying it's not the guy. You're saying Tyler Robinson may not be him. Maybe it's a different thing. Here's why it's more going on than we even know. And turns out every single time, none of it means anything. I'm like, can we not just take we don't have to make everything into a conspiracy. In fact, I think when you take opportunities like this and make them into more of a conspiratorial thing than they are, then it creates distrust in everything. And there's no way of people thinking straight, especially when you have a massive audience. There's no way to make people think straight because everything has to be a conspiracy. Like if you want to sit here I'm, by the way, I'm this person. I'm the guy that'll sit here and go, you know what? American involvement in the Middle East and this kind of one-sided relationship that America has with the Jewish state, I don't like it. Why we send so much funding to Israel just to have them use the funding we send them to buy our weapons off of us doesn't make any sense to me. What do we get out of that exchange? We send them money for them to use our money to buy things from us, to use to, I don't know, create war in the Middle East, which today we had some documents, hopefully, that are going to get signed to cause a ceasefire. We'll see. But I'm like, what are we doing? I'm seeing a step-by-step process with the guy's DNA on the rifle exactly where he would have gone, an escape route, the engravings in the roof from where he was sitting, the pointed rifle, or at least the trajectory for the rifle to be pointed. Like, I'm seeing it step by step. That's evidence to me. On the evening of September 11th, 2025, watch, I guarantee you people, see, there's the connection. See, September 11th, it's gotta be. Like, relax, dude. As law enforcement continued their investigation, Tyler James Robinson went to the Washington County Sheriff's office with his parents and a family friend to turn himself in. Robinson's mother stated the following to police. The day after the shooting, Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son. Robinson's mother called her son and asked him where he was. He said he was at home sick and that he had also been homesick on September 10th. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspected shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed. Robinson had become more and more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several different discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle the police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift. I'll just stop for a second. Does any of this sound far-fetched? Does any of this sound made up? Does any of this sound like a cover story? Because to me, it doesn't. What kind of cover story for a proxy has their own family set the guy up? You wouldn't make a story, concoct this whole thing, and then the big red herring depend on his actual father and mother turning him in. To me, when I watch, and again, I'm not going to show the video because it's just fucking brutal, but when I watch that, it is a clear shot from the front of him. One shot. No multiple gunmen, no shot from the side, no shot from behind. And here's a motive and a clear outline of the path it took to get there. As a result, Robinson's father contacted his son and asked him to send him a photo of the rifle. Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied that he had planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet them at their home. As they discussed in the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he could not go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there's too much evil and the guy, Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate. By the way, this is what happens when you get radicalized, man. This is what happens when kids get online and hear things like so-and-so's a fascist, so-and-so's a racist, so-and-so is a white supremacist, so-and-so is Hitler. They hate minorities, they hate you, hate speech, all this. This is what happens. They talked about Robinson turning himself in and convinced Robinson to speak with a family friend who is a retired deputy sheriff. At Robinson's father's request, the family friend met Robinson and his parents and convinced Robinson to turn himself in. Again, all makes sense. The family friend spoke to police and and reported telling Robinson that it would be best if he brought all the evidence with him to the sheriff's office to avoid police having to search his parents' home. The family friend also asked Robinson if he had any clothes that were related to what he did. Robinson replied that he had disposed of the clothes in different areas. All right, the roommate. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting and provided those messages to police. The roommate received text from Robinson which said, "Drop what you were doing, look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm gonna take it." Police found a photograph of this note. After reading the note, so this was the text message exchange that we had the ellipses and wondered why they weren't fully released. This is the only thing I don't understand from the police is why we wouldn't get the full context of the conversation if you were going to release anything at all. Because, like, why would you have these parts of the conversation where these ellipses happen instead of just giving out the entirety of the back and forth? That's what I wanted to see. But I wouldn't, for the people talking about, was the roommate involved or something like that, that I can lend a little bit of conspiratorial attitude toward, because that seems plausible. For a guy in Robinson that was consistently getting more and more radicalized to one side of the political spectrum and the relationship that he had with his roommate, it would shock me that they never have conversations about something like that before it happened. It would shock me. Not about like going and shooting someone, but like going and having a conversation about how much they hate Charlie Kirk or how much that he spreads hate and he needs to be stopped. There's something. Maybe it was through VR chat. Maybe it was through Reddit fucking subreddit shit. Maybe it was OWO fucking notices bulge. I still don't know what the fuck that is. But yeah, these text messages, I just wish they would have released the full thing. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right? Robinson, I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer." What is that? That's some technical term I don't know. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I'd hope to keep this, we've already read this, to keep this secret until I died of old age. Buddy, it's 2025. How do you expect to not get caught when you go and murder someone in broad daylight? I thought I'd keep this a secret until I died of old age. You weren't the one who did it, right? I am, I'm sorry. They caught the person, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing, had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after. Like, this is what I'm talking, the drop point. Played a lot of Call of Duty, and we're using terms that we heard online. I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Again, dude, you're right. Whoever in chat said he was a real-life LARPer, and I'm laughing because of just the way he's speaking, but these motherfuckers are dangerous, clearly. Unhinged, untethered, distance from reality creates this type of person that thought they left no evidence, that they wouldn't be able to be caught, and that they would keep the secret until they died of old age. He was caught like a day later. Talking about some hate can't be negotiated out. I'm telling you, this type of shit right here is straight out of a bunch of online content creators' Twitch chats. I am telling you, I can almost guarantee you could see this in any one of your top Hassan fucking leftist streamers. That shit right there. I can almost word for word probably pick that out of every stream that they do. Some hatred can't be negotiated out. We don't speak to fascists. Like, I can almost guarantee you could find that in damn near every stream. This is them acting out a reality they've heard in Twitch chats and Reddit posts. Crazy. How long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parking nearby. To this guy, at this point, by the way, no remorse, obviously, none of that. This is like a Mission Impossible thing to him. The way he's talking about this is like, oh, I have to wait. There's a squad car nearby. I don't know if they've swept the spot, but if I can get to it, I will have left no evidence. You know what I'm saying? Legit LARPing. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man will do if I don't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDK if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Now, people looked at this and went, why is he being so descriptive? I think he was genuinely thinking he was going to get away with it if he could get to his gun. I don't know why he would type all this out and then, a couple sentences above talking about they'll have no evidence. Well, buddy, your texts are going to be evidence. But again, we're talking about a young adult who's not probably thought this through to the point where it's almost like a brag. This thing reads like I'm bragging to you about what I did, like a humble brag. I might have to abandon it and hope that they don't find my prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving the bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ooh-woo on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm gonna have to leave it. Wait, remember how I was engraving bullets? This is what I'm talking about. You can't tell me that the roommate had no idea this was going to happen. Because why would Robinson be recalling, I guess, something that either told the roommate or they had seen themselves? Like, remember when I was engraving bullets? You don't just, like, memory recall something to someone that had no idea you were about to go do what you did. This is why the roommate definitely either knew more about the situation, knew the planning and everything else, and this is like a thought out, like, set up conversation between the two of them to, like, use it as an alibi for the roommate or the boyfriend. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here. Is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Again, just typing any of this out is, you're beyond cooked, dude. Police executed a search warrant for Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered shell casings with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near the university. Police also asked several targets. Also found, Jesus, I can't read. Several targets with bullet holes in Robinson's home, meaning he had practiced. Aggravated murder pertains to Robinson's shooting and killing of Charlie Kirk in a manner that exposed others, in addition to Mr. Kirk, to a great risk of death. So aggravated murder is count 1. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm pertains to Robinson's shooting toward Mr. Kirk, knowing that doing so would endanger those in the bullet's path. The shot caused serious bodily injury to Mr. Kirk, ultimately resulting in his death. Count 3, obstructing justice pertains to Mr. Robinson's removal and hiding of the rifle. Obstruction, removal and hiding of clothing. Witness tampering pertains to Robinson's statement to his roommate, telling his roommate to delete their text messages that followed the shooting. And witness tampering pertains to Robinson's statement to his roommate, telling roommate, if police ask you any questions, ask for a lawyer. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child pertains to Robinson's shooting of Mr. Kirk in the presence of children under 14. Would this not be like, aggravated murder? Is that the heaviest charge you can levy in this case? Yeah, it seems like an oddly descriptive thing, like to make himself almost look like the only person involved, TJ. That's what I'm reading that conversation between them. To like, oh, let's concoct this idea that I am going to tell you that I did it as a solo being that no one else knew anything about, so that it can keep you out of trouble, even if you knew about it. But he kind of fucked up in the middle going, remember those bullet casings that I drew on? I used those ones. So anyway, this video was to try to reinstill some faith in the justice system, in the purveying message that's being sent around the Charlie Kirk assassination, which is pretty clear. There was a deluded, deranged, highly radicalized, politically motivated individual that took Charlie Kirk's life. At least in my opinion, I don't see any other conspiracy outside of the fact that he probably told more people than just himself that he was going to do this. Like I said, it looks politically motivated. It looks like a kid that was radicalized online. It doesn't look like the Jews paid off the family billions of dollars in a wire transfer. And it doesn't look like the Jews used him as a proxy to set up the actual shooter that was behind Charlie Kirk, or the guy that was twitching on the side of him, or the old man that had CP on his computer. None of that. Sometimes the most honest and real answer is in front of your face. And I know this is very public and highly politicized, but it seems pretty straightforward. So I think sometimes the simple answer is the right one. And when it's looking you in the face, just read it. There you go.